Do you ever get that feeling Sunday evening rolls around and you're just dreading Monday morning, that sort of Sunday scaries thing?
Oh, absolutely. It's pretty common, I think.
Yeah. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if you could actually, smile on Mondays?
That's the goal, isn't it?
Exactly. And today we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating book that talks about just that. It's called Sonríe los lunes, las 8 claves para ser más feliz en el trabajo y en tu vida.
Which translates to Smile on Mondays, the 8 keys to being happier at work and in your life. It's by Luis Rios and Luis Pita.
And this isn't just some theoretical feel-good stuff. It's actually based on a pretty extensive study they did.
Right. They talked to a whole range of professionals, people who genuinely loved their jobs.
And here's what's really interesting, maybe even a bit counterintuitive.
Hmm.
Their biggest discovery was that the people who are happy at work, they don't necessarily have the quote-unquote ideal jobs.
Yeah, that's crucial. The key wasn't what the job was.
No, it was something within those people. It's like they carry their happiness with them,
Hmm?
regardless of the role, the company, even difficult colleagues or bosses.
It's an internal thing, basically.
Think of it maybe like a relationship or a marriage. Finding someone compatible, that's important, sure.
Of course.
But what really makes it work long-term is what you put into it every day, right?
Mm.
Showing affection, listening, engaging.
The daily actions, yeah.
The authors argue it's the same with your job. What you bring to the table each day really matters.
And what's so powerful about their research is they found this common thread across all sorts of jobs. Engineers, nurses, you name it. People finding real satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
So they distill this down into 8 core strategies these happy people use. And today, we're going to unpack those.
Okay.
We'll start with the first 4. These are the ones completely within your own control. They will look the next 4, which might depend a bit more on your situation, but are still incredibly powerful.
Got it. So the mission here is to give you, our listeners, some really actionable insights, things you can actually use to make your work life feel more fulfilling.
Exactly.
Let's jump in. Okay, first up, strategy number 1, no quejarse, actuar, which means stop complaining, act.
A tough one for many people.
Right. But what if the biggest block to your happiness at work isn't the boss or the tasks or the pay, but just, complaining about it all?
Mm-hmm. The book really digs into why complaining is so bad for you.
Yeah, it says, first off, it puts you in a victim mindset. You give up your responsibility.
You feel powerless.
Exactly. And it locks you into this negative emotional state, which makes it almost impossible to actually solve the problem.
Plus, it just drains your energy.
Yeah.
Energy you could be using to, make a change.
Totally. There's this great story in the book about a mechanic, Pavel.
Right, Pavel. He had a really difficult boss, Senor Paco, worked in a hot workshop, didn't have great tools.
And his colleagues, just complaining constantly. Heat, tools, the boss.
Classic scenario. But Pavel did something different. Instead of whining about the heat, he found himself a little mini fan, a sweatband, practical things, and the tools. Instead of just griping, he actually went online, found some cheap secondhand ones, and presented a solution to Paco.
That takes initiative.
It really does. And what's amazing is even though Paco didn't suddenly become a great boss,
Right. He was still difficult.
Pavel chose how he responded. He decided basically, my boss doesn't get to ruin my day.
Yeah.
And that attitude even started to rub off on his coworkers.
That's such a powerful shift. It really shows that happy people, they don't just complain, they take ownership. They act. Like Mayday, the secretary they mentioned, she had an issue with unequal pay. Instead of just complaining to colleagues,
What does she do?
she used her good relationship with the marketing director, someone who actually had the owner's ear, and boom, 10% raise.
Wow.
Or Marta, the nurse, did great work but got 0 recognition from supervisors. 0.
That's demoralizing.
Totally. But her solution, she started giving herself the recognition, celebrating her own good work, reminding herself, hey, I own my happiness here.
That internal validation, it's so important. And this idea really connects to a concept, Stephen Covey's circle of influence.
Okay, tell us about that.
So you have your circle of concern, all the things you worry about but can't really control, like, the economy, politics.
Right, stuff that stresses you out but you can't fix.
Exactly. And then you have your circle of influence. These are the things you can control. Your attitude, your actions, how you treat people, your skills.
Got it.
The key insight is, if you focus your energy on your circle of influence, your stress goes down and your effectiveness goes way up.
Like Mate talking to the marketing director.
Precisely. She acted within her influence, and it expanded her influence to affect her salary. which was previously outside her direct control.
So for you listening, the practical step is list your work problems, figure out which circle they fall into, then identify actions you can take within your circle of influence.
And then, this is the crucial part, actually do them. Take action.
It really highlights how much agency we have just in how we respond. Okay, so if complaining is out, what's next? This feels like it's about changing our internal state no matter what's happening outside.
That leads perfectly into strategy number 2. Actur como si. Act as if.
Act as if. What does that mean?
The core idea is pretty simple, but really effective. You might not be able to change what you do in your job.
Right, the tasks might be fixed.
But you can always change how you do it. The book suggests that if you consciously act as if you're enthusiastic about your work,
Yeah.
often you genuinely start to feel more enthusiastic.
Fake it till you make it, sort of. Does that really work?
Well, let's look at the story of Mati. She worked in the DNI office, the ID card place, and she was bored out of her mind. Felt totally monotonous, just calling out numbers, stamping things. Meek, your turn, all day long.
I can picture that. Sounds soul-crushing.
Yeah. But her mother gave her this advice. Try acting as if you enjoy it.
Oh, okay. So what did Monty do?
She started consciously acting more enthusiastic, helping people beyond just the bare minimum, like explaining how the electronic ID features worked,
Yeah.
offering a smile.
Did people notice? Did she feel different?
Absolutely. People responded positively. They
Yeah.
appreciated the extra help. She started smiling genuinely. She felt, useful.
Wow.
And it didn't stop there. Her boss noticed the change. She ended up studying, became a supervisor. It was life-changing for her.
That's incredible, just from shifting her behavior first.
Exactly. It taps into this psychological principle called the cybernetic loop.
Cybernetic loop.
Yeah, it means our thoughts, our body language, like our posture, facial expressions, and our emotional state are all interconnected,
Yeah.
like a loop.
Okay.
So if you change one part of the loop, say your body language, stand up straighter, smile intentionally, use more energetic gestures, it can actually influence the other parts.
Yeah.
It could directly shift your emotional state from, say, boredom or sadness towards enthusiasm.
So my posture isn't just showing how I feel. It can actually change how I feel.
That's the idea. It's a two-way street.
That's really fascinating. So for you listening, the practical takeaway is think about someone enthusiastic in your kind of job. How do they act? How do they stand, speak, even think?
Right. Identify those behaviors.
And then commit to acting that way for, say, a week. Just try it. See what happens to how you feel. Might be worth the experiment.
Definitely. It costs nothing to try.
Okay, let's move into the next segment, which the authors call Empowering Your Work. Strategies for Growth and Influence. Strategy 3 is Meteor Measure.
Measure. Okay, what are we measuring?
Well, think about watching or playing a basketball game. What if there was no scoreboard?
It'd be way less engaging, right? You wouldn't know who's winning, how things are progressing.
Exactly. So the idea here is to turn any job, even one that feels boring, into more of a game by measuring something that matters to you.
So you're creating your own scoreboard.
Precisely. Measuring your score, maybe it's time taken or sales made or even just your level of enjoyment. It makes the work more fun, and often you actually get better at it.
Interesting. Can you give an example?
Yeah, there's Maria, a hotel room cleaner. She was, understandably, bored cleaning rooms day in, day out.
Repetitive work.
So she started timing herself. How long does each room take? Can I beat my previous time? She turned it into a competition with herself.
Okay, a personal challenge.
Yeah, and later even with a colleague. It made the work more exciting, more engaging.
Did it have any other effects?
It did. Management noticed her improved attitude, her efficiency, and eventually she became the director of the hotel's new children's playroom.
Wow, that's a huge leap.
Right. A role that was much closer to what she actually wanted to do, which was teaching, all sparked by measuring her cleaning times.
That's amazing. It shows measuring isn't just about numbers, it's about engagement and visibility, too.
Totally. And we saw it with Marta, the nurse, earlier too, right? Timing herself, sterilizing instruments, turning something tedious into a race.
Right. And Lee Nelson, the teenager sorting bottles?
Yeah. Hated the job, but when his supervisor gave him a time target, an hour per container, suddenly it's a challenge, and he tripled his speed.
That external benchmark made all the difference.
And there's even a story about a sales team where the manager had them measure their enjoyment level on a scale of 1 to 10 instead of just sales figures.
Measuring enjoyment. How did that work out?
Surprisingly well. Focusing on enjoyment apparently led them to engage better with clients, be more creative, and their sales actually went up by 40%.
40%. Just by focusing on enjoyment. That's counterintuitive but powerful.
It really is. It speaks to this principle. What you consistently measure tends to improve.
So the authors provide a tool for this called personal brand.
Yeah, it's basically a way to help you track variables over time. Could be objective things like sales or tasks completed, or subjective things like your enjoyment level or stress level.
Like Eduardo, the engineer they mentioned.
Right. He used an Excel sheet to track time spent on tasks and his enjoyment level, 1 to 10.
And what did he learn?
He realized he worked faster with more awareness, cut down distractions, but also discovered he genuinely enjoyed collaborative tasks, like meetings where he could contribute ideas, much more than sitting alone at his computer.
Ah, so it gave him self-awareness about his preferences.
Exactly. And that insight helped guide him towards roles with more coordination and teamwork.
Makes sense. So the practical application for you is pick one, maybe three, key things in your work to measure. Decide how often you'll track them. Record the data.
And then look at it, learn from it, what does it tell you? And set some actions based on that to improve.
Continuous improvement based on your own data.
Okay, strategy number 4 is next. Ver el trabajo como una oportunidad. See work as an opportunity. This feels like a big mindset shift.
It really is. And it combats what the authors call the myth of divine punishment.
The myth of divine punishment, what's that?
It's this underlying mental map many people have where work is seen as a chore, a burden, something you have to do maybe just for the money, like Adam and Eve having to earn bread by the sweat of their brow, you know?
Right. Work is a necessary evil.
Exactly. They even mention a financial analyst who liked his job but still said if he didn't have to work, he'd rather be skiing. It shows that even if you enjoy parts of it, if you see it fundamentally as an obligation.
It limits your potential for deeper happiness there.
Precisely. Research like the General Social Survey backs this up. People often report feeling less positive during work hours compared to leisure, simply because work feels imposed.
That's a trap that's easy to fall into, isn't it? Especially when you do need the money. So what's the alternative view? How do happy people see it?
They consciously choose to see work as a positive opportunity.
An opportunity for what?
For many things. An opportunity to learn, to grow professionally or personally, to help other people, or even just to find enjoyment in the process itself.
Okay, so shifting the frame from obligation to opportunity.
Yes. Look at Anna, the engineer we mentioned before.
Yeah.
She had this senior engineer colleague who was a bit paternalistic, called her guapa.
Right, that could be really irritating.
For sure. But instead of just stewing in that irritation, she reframed him in her mind as an opportunity to learn from his decades of experience.
How did that change things?
It completely shifted their dynamic.
Yeah.
They ended up working incredibly well together, becoming her dream team, as she called it, all because she changed her perspective.
That's powerful reframing. And Sonia, the civil servant.
Another great example. Hated her job, mechanical, uncreative, felt unappreciated. She was stuck. Until she changed her view, she started seeing the job as an opportunity to learn new things and update herself. She took an accounting course related to her work.
And that shift was key.
It was pivotal for her satisfaction. It wasn't the job that changed initially, it was her view of it as an opportunity.
It seems helping others is a big part of this opportunity mindset, too.
Definitely. Studies consistently find that jobs focused on helping, teaching, or protecting others, think clergy, firefighters, physical therapists, tend to have the highest levels of job satisfaction.
That makes intuitive sense. There's inherent meaning there, like Beatriz, the interior designer.
Right. Initially, she felt her job was maybe a bit superficial.
Yeah, picking out colors and furniture.
But her mother pointed out, you're designing someone's home. That directly affects how they live, how they feel every day.
Reframing it as helping people live better.
Exactly. That shifted Beatrice's perspective entirely. She saw her work as a meaningful opportunity to improve her clients' well-being.
And the hospital janitor story.
From Martin Seligman, yeah. This janitor didn't just see his job as cleaning rooms. He saw it as creating a beautiful and pleasant environment for patients. He changed the pictures around.
So he saw his role as contributing to their recovery.
Yes, helping patients recover. That's a powerful sense of purpose, far beyond just mopping floors.
So for you listening, there's a tool here. Your personal definition of work. First, think about how you currently define your work. Maybe it really is just what I do for money.
Be honest with yourself.
Then actively brainstorm. What opportunities does your job offer? Opportunities for growth, learning, connection, helping others. Even the problems can be reframed as opportunities to learn new skills, like handling difficult clients.
Find the hidden opportunities.
And finally, craft a new definition for your work, one that's empowering, that focuses on the opportunity aspect, Write it down.
Make it conscious.
Okay, moving on to strategy 5. Aprender y formarse. Learn and train.
This one feels like a natural antidote to boredom, doesn't it? Learning new things stimulates the mind.
Absolutely. And it opens doors. The authors talk about 2 main paths for this.
Right. Path 1 is learning within your current job.
So actively looking for projects or tasks that stretch you, that require new skills, or even just talking to your boss or HR, are there training opportunities, courses, mentorship?
Proactively seeking it out, like Alejandro, the mechanic.
Yeah, he was bored drilling the same holes over and over, so he taught himself electronics online in his spare time.
Okay.
Then a machine broke down, and he offered his new skill to fix it. That got him noticed.
Smart move.
Then he went further. He identified the best welder in the shop, Jose Luis, and offered to basically be his assistant, help him out, in exchange for learning welding.
Learning by doing and helping someone else. Win-win.
Totally. And when Jose Luis retired, he recommended Alejandro for the welding job. It completely changed his career trajectory.
Wow. That's proactive learning in action. And Joe Kramer.
The factory welder from Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's book Flow, he apparently made it his mission to learn every single job in the entire factory, every phase of operation.
He became indispensable, I imagine.
And found enjoyment in that constant learning right up until retirement.
So that's learning within the job. What's the second path?
Learning on your own, outside of work hours, taking initiative for your own development.
Like Sergio the dentist.
Exactly. He didn't even like dentistry initially, but needed to support his family.
So what changed?
He decided to just dive deep, took specialization courses, really deepen his knowledge, and the more he learned,
The more he enjoyed it.
yes, it turned from a disliked necessity into a lifelong passion for learning within his field.
That shows learning can transform your relationship with your work. And today, there are so many ways to learn on your own.
Oh, absolutely. Online courses, places like Coursera, ADX, even free stuff like MIT OpenCourseWare, in-person workshops, industry events.
And just reading books, the authors emphasize that pretty much everything you need to know is written down somewhere.
True. So how does this learning connect to overall happiness and performance?
This brings us to the Learning Triangle tool. It shows learning, results, and enjoyment as interconnected.
Okay, a triangle. How does it work?
The idea is, when you are actively learning something new, typically your results eventually improve, and your enjoyment also tends to go up.
Makes sense. You feel engaged, you get better.
Right. But many companies, they focus almost exclusively on results. They forget about learning and enjoyment.
And paradoxically, that can hurt results in the long run.
Exactly. Think about Pedro, the mechanic who worked on the milling machine.
Yeah.
His learning was low. He knew the job inside out. His results were good, but his enjoyment was low. He was bored.
Okay, so low learning, low enjoyment.
Then he switched to the lathe, a new machine for him. Suddenly, learning was high. But initially,
Results probably weren't great and maybe stressful.
right, low results, low enjoyment. He was in the panic zone, struggling. But as he practiced and mastered the lathe,
Learning stayed high for a while, results improved, and enjoyment went up.
exactly, all three became high. He hit the flow zone. But here's the catch. Once he fully mastered it, learning would naturally drop off again.
And enjoyment might dip too if it becomes routine.
Precisely. Which signals it's time to find a new learning objective to keep the triangle balanced and energized.
I see. So the tool helps you assess where you are.
Yeah. Rate yourself 110 on learning results and beta enjoyment for your main tasks, if learning is low.
That's your cue. Set a new learning goal.
Make it smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound. And keep it visible, remind yourself.
That's really practical. So if you're bored, learn something. If you're overwhelmed, focus on mastering it. But what if you have mastered things and you're just comfortable, maybe too comfortable?
Great question. That leads perfectly into strategy number 6. Buscarse nuevos retos, seek new challenges.
Seek challenges. Don't we usually try to avoid difficulty?
We often do. Yeah. But the authors argue, based on concepts like flow, that challenges are essential for long-term engagement and happiness. They talk about these zones of engagement.
Okay, what are the zones?
First, the comfort zone. Tasks are too easy, you're on autopilot, no real concentration needed.
Leads to boredom, right?
Demotivation. Exactly. Then there's the panic zone. Tasks feel way too difficult. You're struggling, putting in tons of effort, but not getting great results.
That sounds stressful, frustrating.
Very. But the ideal place, the sweet spot, is the flow zone.
Flow. I've heard of that.
Right. Here, the difficulty of the task nicely matches your skill level. It demands your concentration, but it feels achievable. You get absorbed, time flies, you feel engaged, and often really enjoy it.
Okay, so flow is the goal.
Yes. And if you're stuck in the comfort zone, feeling bored, the way out is to seek new challenges. Increase the difficulty just enough to push yourself into that flow zone.
So the paradox is we actually need challenges to stay happy in the long run.
That's the core idea. Avoiding challenges leads to stagnation and boredom.
It's like psychological weightlifting. You need resistance to grow.
Good analogy. So how does this play out? Susanna, the pharmaceutical sales rep,
Right, she had the routine virus.
after 10 years, yeah. Totally bored, felt like she was just going through the motions. A friend suggested she try training the new sales reps.
Okay, a new challenge. How did she react?
Initially, fear. Public speaking terrified her. She was definitely in the panic zone at first,
Understandable.
but she didn't back down. She embraced the challenge, got some help, practiced, figured out how to make the training engaging with real examples, role-playing.
She worked through the panic.
She did, and she moved into flow. Started genuinely enjoying teaching, felt revitalized, and guess what? Yep. Eventually became head of sales training for the company. The challenge cured her routine virus and opened up a whole new career path.
That's fantastic. And Anna, the commercial director again.
She's a great example of proactively seeking challenges, even when things are going okay. Sales had plateaued. Her job was becoming routine.
So she didn't wait for boredom to fully set in.
No. She proposed leading a new software implementation project and organizing sales training for her team. She created her own challenges.
Injecting novelty and difficulty back into her role.
Exactly. Reintroducing that flow state.
So the flow zone tool helps you figure this out for yourself.
Yeah, it's a way to map your main tasks. Think about how difficult is this task for me versus how skilled am I at it?
Okay, plot them on a graph, basically.
Kind of. And identify which tasks are in your comfort zone, too easy, and which might be in your panic zone, too hard.
And then what?
For the comfort zone tasks, brainstorm. How can I make this more challenging? Change what I do, how I do it, when, where, maybe who I do it with. Add a new element.
And for the panic zone tasks.
The question is, what do I need to learn or practice to bring my skill level up so this task moves into the flow zone?
Got it. So it's about adjusting challenge or skill.
Right. The practical step is pick one task in your comfort zone and commit to making it more challenging this week. Or pick one in the panic zone and commit to learning something specific to master it.
Take one concrete action.
Always about action.
Okay, final segment. Navigating relationships, specifically with your boss. This brings us to strategy number 7. Potenciar tus fortalezas. Enhance your strengths.
Focusing on what you're naturally good at and enjoy.
Yeah, the book makes a clear distinction. Strength activities, they energize you, you get good results, time flies when you do them, you look forward to them.
You feel in the zone.
Versus weakness activities, they drain you, you don't perform them particularly well, time drags, you procrastinate.
We all have those too.
Definitely. And the authors say a real strength usually has 3 ingredients.
Right. It starts with some kind of natural talent or aptitude, but that's not enough on its own. You need learning, understanding the theory, the techniques, and then you need practical experience actually doing it, refining it. Talent plus learning plus practice, strength.
Talent, learning, practice. Got it. So how do we leverage this at work? Ricardo, the pastry chef.
Ah, yes. Ricardo, his big strength was imagination, creativity. But his boss, Jorge, was very traditional.
So clash of styles.
Big time. Ricardo invented these amazing cupcakes, but Jorge just rejected them. Didn't fit the traditional bakery image.
That must have been frustrating for Ricardo. Using his strength, but getting shot down.
Totally. But then Jorge's daughter, Natalia, saw Ricardo's talent. She kind of acted like a fairy godmother, the book says.
How so?
She convinced her dad to give Ricardo a chance just one day a week, let him create something new, experiment.
Ah, finding a dedicated space for his strength.
Exactly. It allowed Ricardo to use his core strength, bring some innovation to the bakery, and find that professional fulfillment he was missing.
That's great. And Antonio, the e-learning entrepreneur.
His strength was clearly sales presentations. He was brilliant at convincing people face-to-face. But he was spending way too much time on things that weren't his strength, like making cold calls, developing course content, things that drained him.
Weakness activities.
Right. So he made a bold move. He hired people to handle those weakness activities,
Delegating his weaknesses.
which freed him up to spend like 75% of his time doing what he did best, those sales presentations.
And the result?
Business took off, and he enjoyed his work infinitely more. Focusing on his strength paid off massively.
Okay, so identify strength, find ways to use them more, and maybe offload weaknesses. The book offers a framework for this. Free, stop.
Yeah, from Marcus Buckingham. It's a neat mnemonic. Free E is for maximizing your strengths.
FRE. What do they stand for?
Focus. Consciously identify when and how you're using your strengths. Release. Find ways to free up more time for your strength activities. Educate. Keep learning and developing your strengths. Expand. Look for ways to broaden your role to incorporate more of your strengths.
Focus, release, educate, expand.
Oh.
And
Right.
P is for managing weaknesses.
Right. STOP. Stop. Simply stop doing weakness activities if they aren't truly critical. Can you just not do them?
Maybe sometimes. What's T?
Team up.
Uh-huh.
Partner with someone whose strength is your weakness. Collaborate. Offer up. Offer to do more of your strength activities, which might allow you to do less of a weakness activity in return. Kind of a trade.
In P?
Perceive differently. Reframe how you think about the weakness activity. Maybe see it as a necessary short step towards getting to do your strength activity. Change your mindset about it.
Stop, team up, offer up, perceive differently. That's a really practical toolkit, like Heidi, the hotel director.
Yeah, Heidi from Hampton Hotels.
Yeah.
Chasing down underperforming hotels felt like a weakness activity for her. It was draining.
So how did she apply STOP?
Well, she essentially stopped making those direct calls herself. S. She focused her energy on coaching her best performing hotels, expanding her strength, part of free, really, and she eventually teamed up with a colleague to handle some calls, or shifted her approach to influencing the hotel owners rather than just the managers, perceiving acting differently, P.
So she reshaped her role around her strengths.
And got better results, plus found a new, more suitable role eventually.
So for you listening, list your main work activities. Which ones feel like strengths? Which feel like weaknesses? Pick one strength and think about how you can apply free to it this week. Pick one weakness and think about how you can apply STOP. Commit to one action.
Small steps, big impact potentially.
Okay, we've arrived at the final strategy, number 8.
Yeah.
Gestionar de jefe, manage your boss.
This one is huge because, let's face it, after yourself, your direct boss often has the biggest impact on your day-to-day happiness and even your career path.
Definitely. So the core idea here is view your boss as your main client.
Exactly. Think of them as your most important client. And what's the key to any good client relationship?
Trust. Understanding their needs.
Bingo. Building trust with this client is paramount. The authors highlight 3 keys to doing this effectively.
Okay, what's the first key?
Put yourself in their shoes. Really try to understand their world. What are their pressures? What problems are they trying to solve? What are their goals, their priorities? What does their boss expect from them?
Seeing things from their perspective.
Yes. Covey tells a story about an executive who really stood out because he didn't just give his president information. He anticipated the president's needs, provided analysis, and even recommendations. He was thinking like his boss.
Earning that deep trust.
Exactly. And Guillermo, the consultant with the brusque boss.
Yeah, what happened there?
Guillermo realized his boss wasn't just being mean. He was under immense pressure trying to get a promotion, totally overloaded.
Understanding the why behind the behavior.
Right. So Guillermo stopped taking it personally. And then he went a step further. He proactively helped his boss with a really critical report that was stressing him out.
Wow. How did the boss react?
It radically improved their relationship. The boss started trusting Guillermo more, gave him more autonomy. Helping the boss solve his problem benefited Guillermo directly.
That's putting yourself in their shoes and then acting on it.
Oh.
Okay, key number 2.
Go with solutions, not problems. Simple, but crucial. Don't just dump problems on your boss's desk. Don't be their personal complaints department.
We all know people like that.
Right. Instead, when you identify a problem, always try to bring at least one potential solution along with it. Show you thought about it.
Be part of the solution, not just the problem. Makes sense. And the third key.
Promise little, deliver much. It's about building reliability. Under-promise and over-deliver, essentially.
Building that reputation for dependability.
Absolutely. Before you commit to something your boss asks, mentally check. Can I actually do this? Do I have the skills, the time? Do I want to do this? Is it aligned with my goals? And, importantly, does the environment allow it? Are there obstacles outside my control?
Thinking before you commit. So you only promise what you're confident you can deliver well.
Exactly. It builds massive trust over time.
Juan, the oil well engineer, he used all 3, right?
Perfectly. He wanted to move from the field into a strategy role. New boss, Rodrigo, was very serious, demanding.
So how did Juan apply the keys?
He put himself in Rodrigo's shoes, anticipating problems. Like when a colleague resigned, Juan didn't just wait. He proactively identified potential replacements before Rodrigo even asked.
Wow, anticipating needs, solutions, not problems.
Yep. When drilling got stuck on a well, Juan didn't just report we have a problem. He went out, found an expert, Francisco, who could solve it faster and cheaper, and presented that solution to Rodrigo.
Taking initiative again,
Aben.
promising and delivering.
Consistently. He built that track record, proved his value, earned Rodrigo's trust. So when Juan finally proposed moving to strategy and suggested Ignacio as his replacement.
Rodrigo trusted his judgment.
Exactly. Juan managed his client effectively and achieved his goal.
So how can we systematically put ourselves in our boss's shoes? There's a tool for that too.
Yes, the classic SWOT analysis, or DEFO as it's called in Spanish. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, but applied to your boss.
Analyzing my boss's SWOT. Interesting.
Think about it. What are their strengths you can leverage or learn from? What are their weaknesses you might need to compensate for? Or where you could offer help? What opportunities are they pursuing that you could contribute to? What threats or pressures are they facing that you might help mitigate?
That gives you a much deeper understanding of their context.
Exactly. It helps you anticipate their needs, tailor your communication, and frame your own proposals in a way that solves their problems while also meeting your needs. Like offering your marketing skills, your strength, to help your boss launch a new product, their opportunity, which also gives you a new challenge, your need.
Connecting your goals to their goals.
Win-win. So the practical step, actually do a quick SWOT analysis for your boss. Identify one or two key needs or pressures they have. Then craft a proposal or an offer of help that addresses their need, helps you, and follows that promise little, deliver much principle.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot. 8 really powerful strategies from Sonríe los Lunes.
From stopping complaining and acting as if, to measuring, seeing opportunity, learning, seeking challenges, using strengths, and managing your boss.
Yeah, and the authors really stress, just listening to this or reading the book isn't enough. The real change, the magic, happens when you actually do something, when you act.
Absolutely. Knowledge isn't power until it's applied.
So ultimately, you decide. Your happiness at work, a huge part of it is genuinely in your hands. Don't just let another Monday roll around feeling dreaded.
Maybe consider this final thought. Your work takes up a massive chunk of your life, right?
For most people, yeah.
So how much of your overall life happiness are you leaving purely to chance or to external factors if you're not actively trying to shape your experience at work?
That's a really provocative question.
What's one small thing, just one action from everything we've talked about today that you will commit to trying this week? Just one step to start shifting things.
That's the challenge. And remember, there are resources out there. The author's website, www.sonriloslins.com, has templates, articles, tools mentioned in the book.
And there are always other great books on these topics, too, if you want to dive even deeper.
Definitely. So good luck with putting these into practice.
Go out there and make your Mondays something to smile about.
Don't let a single Monday pass without a smile.